All right, what's up, Corey? Just here on a Wednesday morning here in Lincoln, Nebraska. How's it going tonight?
Man, it's going pretty good. Going pretty good. Been working with my boy KT and everything, man. Doing a lot of music related stuff. Trying to build raw hip hop. Just on the grind like usual.
I feel you, man.
Yep, yep.
So, what city are you originally from?
Man, the city that I'm originally from. Well, I grew up in Los Angeles, California. But I grew
Yeah.
up around all kinds of all different cities because around 12 years old, around 5 years old, when I when I was first born, me and my dad and my mom, we were living in Bellflower, California, which is a suburb of Los Angeles. And then shortly after that, I moved back with my dad over in Iowa for a little while. Then I moved back to Los Angeles, and around 12 years old, I moved to the city of Long Beach and different cities. So really all around LA County. So I tell people Los Angeles just as a broad example,
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah,
That
yeah.
makes sense.
And the thing about it too is, but I also rep the city of Moreno Valley, California too. That's definitely one of my cities too that I represent,
Right.
where I've lived, and
Okay.
helped me become a man and everything. So
Okay.
yeah.
So tell us your name and a little bit about yourself.
Well, as you guys know, my name is Corey Miller. I'm a 26-year-old hip hop artist out of Los Angeles, California, the creator and CEO of RawHip-HopHeadz. Basically, man, I love everything hip hop, from the old school hip hop, from new school hip hop, and hip hop in general has really, gave me an outlet to express my emotions and different things when I was growing up, and gave me a voice, because when I was growing up, my family situation, I didn't always feel like I had a voice, so I felt like hip hop really, really gave me a voice. So I started listening to Tribe Called Quest. I started listening to Snoop Dogg. I started listening to Nas. Started listening to Rakim, and started listening to Eminem, and saw that these guys were talking about the struggle and everything. And I really gravitated to hip hop because I was like, man, a lot of the shit that these guys were talking about, I'm going through the same situations.
Right.
So I was really, really able to relate to a lot of these artists. So I started gravitating to them. When I was about 12, 13 years old, I would memorize their whole entire song and I would rap their song. So when I was rapping their song, I really, really liked it a lot. And then I just thought to myself, well, hell, shit, I could just start rapping my own stuff and be an artist just like them. So that's what
Right.
really, really got me into hip hop, just basically giving me a voice.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Let's see. So you mentioned the Raw Hip Hop Heads movement.
Yes.
Um, how'd you come up with the name for Raw Hip Hop?
RawHip-HopHeadz, basically, man, with that, I used to belong in another Facebook group, and this Facebook group were ran by some kids that were maybe 16, 17 years old,
Okay.
and they lived somewhere. I don't even think that they were from America, which doesn't really matter, but they really didn't know a whole lot about hip hop. And I was talking about a lot of shit that we saw on the West Coast. I was talking about Spice One, I was talking about Snoop Dogg, I was talking about the Dog Pound, and I was talking about, Death Row Records and Tupac. And for whatever reason, they didn't like Tupac. They thought Tupac wasn't a real artist.
Right.
So with that being said, they didn't appreciate me too much because in their group, I was always talking about Tupac. And the thing about it too is I was getting more comments and more likes and more attention than they were, and my topics were a lot hotter. Like where they might post something about hip hop, they might get 20, 30 comments. I post something about hip hop, I might get 200 or 300 comments. So that's when I knew, like, okay, I really have a knack for this. I'm really intriguing to people. But because I kept on talking about West Coast hip hop and they didn't like West Coast hip hop, they got really, really annoyed with me, and they ended up by actually kicking me out. They told me that I had one more chance to talk about Tupac, and if I did it, then I'd be kicked out. And I talked about Tupac and my love for West Coast music, and they just got tired of me and they banned me. Now, when they did that, a lot of people were wondering where I went. So where I went was I was trying to strategize about how I could create my own Facebook group. So I told people, I was like, man, I got kicked out of this Facebook group and I want to create my own, and this one's going to be called RawHip-HopHeadz. And it's going to be called Raw because, people are going to be able to express themselves the way that they want to express themselves, raw and uncut. Basically, it was like raw and uncut hip hop heads, but I just took out the uncut part in because raw pretty much displayed that anyway. Raw was just raw, uncut.
Yeah.
It incorporates all of that. So that's how I came up with raw. And I've always been a hip hop head, and people that I was messing with were like hip hop heads as well. So we just called ourselves RawHip-HopHeadz, you know?
Gotcha.
That's
Yeah.
pretty much what happened with that.
Right. Okay. So, like, is that the main purpose of raw hip hop then? Just like the uncut feel of it?
To give people a voice, raw and uncut, and uncensored, you know?
Right.
Being really uncensored. If you like a certain genre of hip hop that I don't like, whether it's trap, whether it's whatever, I'm not gonna kick you out and I'm not gonna ban you just because I don't like what you're talking about, you know?
Right. Like for raw hip hop heads, I hear you got the chance to interview quite a few different artists and just big people in the hip hop industry. Who are some of those people that you got to interview?
Man, well, some of the people I've had a chance to collaborate with were Hopsin. I worked with Hopsin and the whole Funk Volume thing. I recorded the whole tour for the Funk Volume. We recorded like a concert series where you guys will actually be able to see the concert live. I don't know. I'm not saying that I'm the best friends with Hopsin, but I was able to kick it with him for a little while and shook his hand and, you know, talk to him and chill with him for a little while. So that was really cool. That was really cool to me. Probably one of my best experiences. But I also interviewed Eazy's son, Little Eazy. Talked to him about the Straight Outta Compton NWA movie, how he felt his dad was portrayed. Did he feel like his dad was portrayed on some bullshit, or his dad was, you know, rightfully justified, or his dad was getting his just due in the movie? I interviewed Jerry Heller about the rumors about him stealing money from NWA members and him having a beef with Ice Cube and Dr. Dre, and how that happened and how NWA fell out and how he felt about you know, Eazy's death and stuff like that. I talked to Run DMC's son, what's the kid's name? Diggy Simmons. I talked to Diggy.
Part 2 of the interview. For this one, I have a special edition answering all y'all questions. Just got done editing the Funk Volume 2015 tour. So now we about to start this interview with your boy, the Ripster, aka Corey Miller. You already know what it is. Let's get it. Raw hip hop.
So yeah, some of the people that I got a chance to interview, man, is Diggy Simmons, Black Milk, Steve Lobel, Jerry Heller, man, the list goes on and on. Crooked Eye, all kinds of people. Razcast, got a chance to meet up and link up in Omaha, Nebraska and shake hands with Hopsin. So that was cool. As far as my dream interview though, y'all wanna know who my dream interview would be? Either Jay-Z or Kanye West. Kanye West, because I just feel like he's really artistic, you know, and I would like to get into the brain, into the mind state about what inspires him, what gives him the motivation that when people tell him he shouldn't be doing some shit, he goes against the status quo and keeps on grinding and doesn't really give a fuck what anybody says, just has the motivation to keep going no matter who is talking shit about him. So I would say definitely Kanye West. Then Jay-Z. I would say Jay-Z because they say that he freestyles all this shit. I would like to know, when he freestyles a song, does he automatically know that it's a hit? How does he write the songs in his head? How did he know to sign Kanye West? You know, how did he even go about creating and linking up with Dame Dash and creating the Rockefeller Dynasty? What happened, you know? How he went to signing J. Cole, how he knew that J. Cole was going to be the next big thing. Just when he got with Beyonce, how did he go about really working with Beyonce? Like, I would just like to get into the mind state of Jay-Z and Kanye West because they're really influential in the hip-hop culture, and I feel like I could personally learn a lot from them, you feel what I'm saying? So definitely my dream interview would be Jay-Z and Kanye West. You guys are asking me, what's the big picture of raw hip-hop? The big picture is to create a music conglomerate full of different outlets, whether that be media, whether that be, you know, show performances, me as an artist having my own record label eventually. But I would like to be signed to Tech 9. I would like to sign with Strange Music because I feel like I could really be an artist and really learn a lot from Tech. And you know, I feel like I could really represent for Strange Music because I'm a strange nigga when I rap. I rap about all kinds of different shit like the Twilight Zone and Demented, but it be some real ass shit that a lot of people can relate to. But other than that, man, the big picture of RawHip-HopHeadz is just to have a blog, a Facebook group, you know, the YouTube, the Instagram, the Twitter. Really just out here grinding, man. Really just out here grinding and giving you guys raw hip-hop music, whether it be the underground or it be the mainstream, and just distributing it on every outlet and being a dominating force in hip-hop culture, you know, just having all kinds of shit going. And I want to be able to help unsigned artists. So what I do, even in my Facebook group, I have Artists of the Week to give them exposure. The best Artist of the Week, it's an exclusive interview and gets to promote their music. Also too, man, we have mixtapes. I host mixtapes and do stuff like that to give artists a lot of different exposure and stuff, you know. So definitely doing mixtapes and definitely Artists of the Week and just helping people, just putting on for hip-hop culture. It's basically the overall big picture of RawHip-HopHeadz. So, yep. And to make a career out of it. Stop working my 9 to 5. Feel me? What's my biggest accomplishment so far? Well, on YouTube, we have about over 500,000 views. I didn't even know that. But my Jerry Heller interview, I dropped it around the same time as Straight Outta Compton, and I asked him some very controversial questions. What he thought of the movie, what his relationship was like during Eazy's deathbed, why he had conflict with Ice Cube and Dr. Dre, and basically what happened with Bone Thugs and Harmony, and what happened with Ruthless Records as a whole, you know? So just asking him that and learning a lot of very valuable information about that. And I dropped that the same week that the NWA Straight Outta Compton movie came out. And in about a week, I garnished about 80,000 views on that. So, and got about 300 comments. So that was a very, very big accomplishment. Probably the biggest accomplishment doing this shit. Also, my followers. My Facebook group is garnishing about 1,500, between 2,000 and 1,500 people a month. And I've only been up a year, you know? So RawHip-HopHeadz is definitely making a lot of moves in the music industry. And that's a huge accomplishment for me. So, yep. What is my biggest setback? Well, I worked with a lady named Lisa Barton, who was the PR for Strange Music, and she was supposed to hook me up with an interview with Chris Calico. But and now I think that was like later in September, like September 30th or 23rd or something like that. So we were conversing and everything was good, and I asked her, did she have anybody else that I could interview before that? And she told me that she has Mayday, and I actually ended up by interviewing Mayday, you know? And that was a big accomplishment. And after I did the Mayday interview, I talked to the tour manager. His name was Chris. And I asked Chris, well, if I wanted to open up for Strange Music, or if I wanted to open up for Tech 9 and Chris Calico, how would I go about doing that? And I asked Chris, could I go about talking to Lisa Barton about it, since she hooked me up with the interview? And he said, well, you could possibly do that. So I went ahead and I did that. And I asked her, and she said, well, you're being very, very unprofessional. And because you're being very unprofessional, asking me how you can do a show, I'm no longer going to let you meet or interview Chris Calico. And I was really, really offended by this. And I told her, I was like, well, one of your staff members even suggested that I could hit you up. So please don't be mad at me. I don't have to do the interview. I mean, I don't have to perform, but I really, really want to do the interview because, you know, Strange Music, Chris Calico, Tech 9 has a very big fan base within my hip-hop group, RawHip-HopHeadz. So that's what I was trying to do, and she wouldn't let me do it, man. She basically said that I couldn't do the interview and that I can't play both sides of the fence. I couldn't be a journalist and a hip-hop artist, which I thought was bullshit. And I told Lisa, I said, excuse me. I told her, I said, well, I'm not gonna stop being an artist and I'm not gonna stop doing interviews, but I don't have to perform at the show. So if you could please just allow me to do the interview, I'd appreciate that. And she said no, because she felt I was being very professional. And I told her, I said, well, just how I was making moves before you, I'm gonna continue making moves after you. And she said something very disrespectful to me or something like that, and I actually ended up by going off on her. I told her, I said, I don't care how famous or who you know, but I'm not gonna allow you to disrespect me, you know? And we went back and forth for a little while, and then she kept on saying something on my in the text, and I ended up by telling her, I was like, well, you know what, you can go your way and I can go my way. And fuck you, basically. You know, if you're gonna treat me like that, if you're gonna treat me like shit, then basically you can go fuck yourself, because you're not gonna talk to me just how you talk to anybody, you know, just anybody, disrespectful, especially if I'm not disrespecting you. So she went, and I guess she felt like she had to have the last laugh or the last word, and she actually ended up by contacting Power 106 in Omaha, Nebraska. Now, I told her that I was working with Power 106, but I didn't mean in the context of me being a staff member. When I first hit her up, I told her, well, you know, I have things going on with Power 106, and I gave her a resume about what I was doing and a lot of the moves that I was making and who I already interviewed. Well, she decided that she was going to go ahead and contact Power 106 and talk to the program director or somebody up at Power 106 in Omaha, Nebraska, and basically try to get me banned from it. And she did that. She was able to contact them, and I talked to the program director named Hot Boy. And Hot Boy told me, well, we can't have any dealings with you. We're going to have to cut off all communications, all ties with you. And whatever we were going to do, we're no longer going to do it because you got into it with this lady, Lisa Barton. And I tried to give him my side of the story and what happened. And he was kind of siding with her. And she probably told him a lot of other stuff. And I admit I was heated, and I did tell her to go fuck herself. But she was talking to me very disrespectfully and then telling me that I can't be an artist and I can't be a journalist. And I'm like, well, what the hell, you know? Like, there's people that are artists and directors, just like Tyler, the Creator. Like, how are you going to limit somebody? And then I also went on to tell her, well, I don't have to do I don't have to perform, but at least allow me to interview. And she was just being an asshole about it. And I apologized to her for using this terminology, and I am sorry. And I do look back in retrospect, and I regret it. You know, I should have never ever did that. I just didn't like the way that she was coming at me, and I felt very disrespected. So losing that Power 106 situation and all ties pretty much with Strange Music because of her and the situation that we got into, that was the biggest setback for me, because Strange Music is the biggest independent record label. And not only that, I look up to Tech Nine a lot. Tech Nine is probably my biggest influence in this music thing, you know? So for her to do that to me and kind of sabotage that whole situation, I felt very hurt. And I tried to contact her, and I tried to, you know, tweet her, and she wouldn't pick up my phone calls, and she wouldn't contact me back. And I hit up Chris, and nobody would contact me. So this is my way of contacting them and telling them I do apologize, but I do still continue want to work with, you know, Strange Music, and I still want to work with Power 106. And if we can rectify the situation, then please let's be adults and let's rectify the situation, you know? Because something so petty shouldn't be such a drastic thing in my career. And plus, I already apologized and explained myself in the situation. So that's probably my biggest setback. What happened with Lisa Barton was my biggest setback in losing Power 106 and losing some ties to Strange Music. And hopefully I can talk to Travis or Tech and actually get back in, you know, and get that relationship going and start working with them once again. That's my biggest goal right now. Where do I see myself in 5 years? Well, I'm coming out with my mixtape right now. I'm about to release a video in the next coming week or two for internal conflict. And that's basically, you know, all my internal conflict, my struggles, the situations that I'm going through, and just about everything that I've been going through, you know. All my pain, my dark side, the agony, just releasing all that energy and putting it into the music. And I got a song called Twilight Zone. The video for it is fucking crazy. Hopefully somebody will be able to see that and hit me up. You know, I'm actually contacting tour agents right now to try to get on tour and try to do a lot of different things. And I see myself in 5 years releasing my actual album or my second album and being on tour, and RawHip-HopHeadz being a big conglomerate in the industry, like I was saying earlier. So that's where I see myself in 5 years. What's the next step? Like I said, release internal conflict, try to get back in touch with Strange Music, try to talk to Tech, and just keep on grinding, man. Even if I don't get in contact with Strange Music, keep on blowing up what I have going on, and just keep on grinding and building my resume, you know. But I just want to let you guys know that I appreciate all my followers. We're up to almost 15,000 members now. We're about 1,000 members short of 15,000 members. I want to tell you guys that I love you. Thank you for following the RawHip-HopHeadz movement. Thank you for submitting your questions. I appreciate all you guys. This your boy Corey Miller, creator and CEO of Raw Hip Hop, and I'm out. Peace.
Oh, sure. All right, cool. All right, let me do it. Hey, yo, what's going on? It's your boy Leon Hey, yo, what's going on? It's your boy Leon Sims Jr. Welcome to RawHip-HopHeadz, where you get down raw hip-hop. Shit.
That shit was perfect. Yeah, hell yeah, that shit's gonna be hard.
Yeah, plus you gonna play around with equalizer a little bit, you know?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Mix it up a little bit. All right, then, cool. We good?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for you. Yeah, I'm good. Yo, what up? This your boy Stan the Man, repping Moreno Valley, California, and I want to welcome y'all to the Raw Tapes. Welcome to Raw Hip Hop. Yeah, I think that was it.
I think that was it. All right, bro. All right, 3, 2, 1.
This is Wallace from LA, and you tuned in to the Raw Tapes Volume 2. Welcome to Raw Hip Hop.
Yo, it's your boy Sicker from the Caribbean representing RawHip-HopHeadz. Hey, now listen to the Raw Hip-Hop tapes. Get 'em.
Yo, what's up, Raw Hip Hop family? This is Avery Jackson representing Houston, Texas. You are now tuned into the Raw Tapes Volume 2. Welcome to Raw Hip Hop.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's the one, man. I think we got it. For sure.
Sound good?
Yeah, that's cool. Avery, I was gonna tell you too, bro. I'm gonna really need you on the
Yo, RawHip-HopHeadz, this your boy Eli Green calling from Killer Cali, Los Angeles. You are now listening to the Raw Tapes Volume 2.
for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think.
This your boy, Corey Miller, founder and CEO of RawHip-HopHeadz. And you are now officially tuned into the Raw Tapes, Volume 2, the global takeover. Oh, we just getting started, baby. Oh yeah, we just getting started. And everybody say, Raw hip hop, raw hip hop, raw hip hop, raw hip hop. I represent that. Raw hip hop, raw hip hop, raw hip hop.